Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back from the brand new video. Today's video we are here to discuss the transfer window, ladies and gentlemen. Now that the door is officially slammed shut, let's take a look back and reflect on the business that Rangers done. There were 27 transactions, both incoming and outgoing, so we've got a lot to break down, so let's just get into it. And saying that though, if you are new around here, don't mind hitting the subscribe button, that'd be fantastic. But okay, serious business today. And I think the best place to start today's video is actually going to be discussing the players that left the football club, because I was actually quite surprised about just how many players did leave, and to be honest with you, there's still quite a lot still on the books that probably should have. But here or there, let's start off with some official business then, shall we? Let's start with the 7 players that left on loan. And this is in no particular order, but starting off with the very first one, we have Jordan Rosser, who's a loan to Fleetwood for the rest of the season. You've got Zach Rudden, who's at Plymouth. You've got Ross McCrory, who's obviously at Portsmouth. That was one that a lot of us raised questions at, but it's good to see him playing so well. You've heard some nice things said on Twitter, and we'll be discussing that in more detail in the loan review series coming very, very soon, by the way. But the next one up, you've got Glenn Middleton, who's obviously applying his trade at Hibs. Bit controversial, that one as well. You've got Jason Holt, who left on deadline day to St Johnstone. Another deadline day move, by the way, was Jake Hastie joining Rotherham on loan. And last but not least, kind of the forgotten man right now. I don't think many people even remember he is still technically a Rangers player. It's Jack Anik, and he's over in Blackpool. Now personally, when I look at these 7 loans, I have to break them into 2 different categories, because I think they're serving 2 different purposes. You've got one side, which is a development loan for your likes of Rossers, your Middletons, your Zach Ruddens, you've got your Ross McCrory and Jake Hastie. And on the other side, you've got Jason Holt and Jack Anik, who again aren't the worst players in the world, but they're being loaned out to try and just get some interest in them on a permanent basis. Hopefully they can do well enough to get a team to come in and pay a bit of moolah. And I can't believe I'm still having to say this every 6 months in every transfer review, but there is still another player that's out on loan in Mexico right now, getting a bit of moolah from Rangers himself in terms of wages, and that's Herrera. That's right, he is still a Rangers player. He's still on loan in Mexico. What's happening here? I'll tell you what's happening here. No one frickin' knows. That's why he's not on my 7 list, because he was due to come back. He just never came back. So the loan's either been extended behind it's never been announced, or he's just not came back. Alright? No one knows what's going on with Herrera. I'm putting him in his own category because that's where he needs to be. He's not near the other boys, alright? He's not a development loan player, and he's not someone that's going to gather interest. It's just someone that's draining the books. I tell myself I wasn't going to get annoyed today, so let's move on very, very swiftly. That's the boys that's currently out on loan. Now let's turn our attention to the players that left on a permanent transfer this summer. Just being honest, of the 16 people that left the football club this summer, we only sold one of them, and that was Danny Candeas for £250,000. Yep, that's what a kick in the stones feels like. Me just repeating that back. Of all the players we let go, we sold one, and it's for 250k, and it was Danny C. Moving swiftly on, however, we move to the next category, which was players that was mutually terminated from the football club, and there was 3 of them. Start off with the first one, you've got Graham Dorrans, who is now heavily linked with joining Kilmarnock. That should be announced in the next couple of days, unless something goes wrong right at the very end of the negotiation. You've got Kyle Lafferty, who is now plying his trade in Norway. Yep. And last but not least, you've got JD, Mr. Joe Dodo himself, who is now linked with a League One club in England, and it should be again announced in the next couple of days. There was nothing, there was no whispers until he was released, but now he's a free transfer. Apparently a couple of clubs have came knocking. But at last, we've reached the last category for the outgoings for summer 2019/20, and that was players that's contracts just expired at the end of the season and they weren't picked up by Rangers. Starting off with the very first one, we've got Gareth Mccauley, who I think we all wanted to succeed tremendously well, but again, he just came at the wrong time in his career, and it looks like no other club is willing to risk on him as of yet, because he is still without a club as it stands when I'm making today's video. Next up, we have Leigh Horton, who is now at Gillingham, so yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Leigh. I'm sorry, mate. You've got the young and very talented Ryan Hardy, whose contract did finally expire after earning 1-year deals over the last 3 seasons. The time sort of ran out for Ryan Hardy. Now he is playing at Blackpool, who obviously, as mentioned earlier on today's video, has Anik there as their #1 choice goalkeeper as well. So that's quite good to see 2 Bears playing. Also Thompson also plays for Blackpool as well. So there's a wee Rangers connection going on right now in the old Tangerine. And before we jump over and speak about the last player whose contract expired at the end of the season, by the way, we need to announce that Ryan Hardy also got his first goal for the football club as well. So congrats, Ryan. Hopefully continues to kill it for Blackpool. But we need to get to the last player because we all know who it is. It's the former Rangers captain himself, Mr. Lee Wallace. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have already seen the interview with QPR TV when he was asked about his proudest moment, and he basically just picked Rangers for everything that was asked to him. Rangers, Rangers, Rangers. Clearly still loves the club and never ever has a bad word to say about it, so I'll always respect him for that, unlike some of the other pros who's left the football club who just love to stick the boot in. Lee Wallace, always respectful. And it looks like the former skipper took the old quote, once a Ranger, always a Ranger, a bit too seriously, because now he plies his trade at Queen's Park Rangers. Come on! Now, terrible jokes by yours truly to one side. We've now reached the end of the outgoings for this season, so what do you think about the way that we've handled our business on the outgoings end? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think a certain player shouldn't have been loaned out? Do you think a player shouldn't have been sold? Do you think a player shouldn't have had his contract terminated? Or do you think there's other players in the first team right now who should have been on the outgoing list, whether that was mutual termination or just getting punted? Like, I'm sorry to go back to it, but how is Herrera still on the books at Rangers? How has that not been terminated? Do you know what I mean? Every time Rangers just cutting about, just handing out terminations. Is he like Neo in Matrix 1? Remember that scene where the agent tries to shoot him on the helicopter pad? Neo's like that. Do you know what's more embarrassing than me actually doing what I just did there is the fact that I've hurt my back doing it. But to wrap up my overall feelings on the outgoings, if I was to give it out of 5, I'd probably give it like a 3.5. Slightly disappointed we didn't get rid of players like Herrera and Grez and everything like that. I really thought we'd at least get a bit of moolah for that. I'm happy with the loans because, again, it's the development side of things. It's the development manager has identified this with Gerrard and picked the places for these players to go to. So I believe in the loan system now. We saw how well it worked for Greg Docherty last year. Slightly disappointed though on the old mutual termination side of things, but I realise we've made so many mistakes in the windows. We basically just need to clear the books, clear the wage bill, and that is what we're doing. Now, however, it's the fun part, ladies and gentlemen, because we get to dive in and talk about the newest Bears. Now, once again, this is in no particular order, but there was 11 players signed during this transfer window, so let's discuss them then, shall we? We've got Helander, we've got Jake Hasty, we've got Joe Aribo, we've got Andy King and Ojo. Now, the both of them were on loan, so they'll be parting the club at the end of the season. On. You've got Brandon Barker, you've got Greg Stewart, you have Ryan fricking Kent, and I just see that last, can I say it again just one more time, because honestly I'm not over it. We've got Ryan fricking Kent. And lastly, Stephen Davis and Jordan Jones. Now, yes, the latter two were announced last season, but they were still technically classed as this season's transfer, so it counts, it fits, I think. But back to the players themselves, I think it's a pretty strong transfer window and probably one of the strongest we've had in a very long time. And when you look beyond just the names and you just look at the positions, we stocked up with 2 new centre-halves, we picked up 3 new centre midfield players in total, and believe it or not, we brought in 6 wingers in the transfer window. Mind last season when we were joking about how many we had? We brought in 6 this window. Don't you dare mention we didn't play any of them at the weekend. Don't you dare! We all know that Gerrard sacrificed the 3 points in order to force the board into getting Kent. Right? Now, I did say it was a strong transfer window from Rangers, but there was one position I was very surprised we didn't strengthen, and that was the striking position once again, because we all know that Gerrard likes to have that number 3 striker there if needed. I mean, you just go back to last season with a cup game versus Aberdeen where we needed another quality striker there to lead the line, and we ended up playing someone who'd rather dive than play football. We punted him out the building, but again, that spot is now open here, especially after us loaning Zach Rudden out. So that one, I was very surprised we didn't bring anyone else in there, especially to fill that void. When you look at like guys like Andy Dallas, some of the young talented strikers in our academy has left the football club, whether that be on loan or just leaving at the end of their youth contracts as well. That third spot up front is very, very weak right now. Now, I know we could potentially play like Greg Stewart there if necessary, but that's never been his out-and-out game. When he's most prolific, it's in the hole behind the striker. I don't think he can lead the line, especially at Rangers. And saying all that, however, you never know, we could potentially sign a wee cheeky free agent to fill in that third spot. You never know. You just never know. But hell, I'm not going to complain, especially after the window that we have had and the good feeling we ended with the signing of Ryan Kent, because you think about what the board promised us at the start of the season, that would go out and strengthen the squad. I think if you look back on the 11 players that we brought in, they've done exactly what they promised us they would do. Now, I know Alfredo Morelos was technically the guy that delivered Ryan Kent with that beautiful header versus Legia, getting us into the group stages, bringing us more of that cushy moolah. But again, I'm proud of the board because they've done exactly what they said and they gave Gerrard the funds to improve the squad. Now I know there's going to be people jumping onto this video saying, where did the money coming from? Where are you getting it from? Where's that? Where's that? If you actually just googled it and you looked on how much you get for European money, the season ticket money, the money we're charging for European tickets, it's all there, okay? Stop writing, where's the money coming from? And learn what an Irish flag is, okay? I'm sick of looking at Ivory Coast. No offence. And to give the incomings a score out of 5, by the way, I am going to go with 5 out of 5. I absolutely love the work that was done in bringing and identifying these players. And with all that being said, we've now reached the end of today's video. Now, sorry if it's on the longer side. I'm not really sure what it'll be until I actually edit this one down. But if you are still watching to this point in today's video, I just want to know, are you happy with the transfer window? And do you feel like the board properly supported Steven Gerrard? Let me know your thoughts and opinions about that, and if you don't mind, let me know what you think of the best bit of business is. Now I know it's very early and things can change and players can get better or worse as the season goes on, but hell, we're not speaking about the future, we're speaking about right now. What is the best bit of business Rangers did during the window? Now while you guys hopefully get your opinions out there, I will give you mine very briefly. I love certain deals, like I love the Hollander, I love Edmondson move, I absolutely adore with every fibre of my freaking being for the move of Ryan Kent. You all know that, you all saw that 2 days ago when I made that video. I'm still gleaming and I'm still not off Clyde 9. But I also think like the deals for Joe Aribo, bringing him in for only 300,000 when there was teams in the Premier League had offered him a contract. We managed to convince him to come up the road and work with us. That is a guy who's got untapped potential. Yes, he's been shaky the last 2 games, but that comes with young, talented football players. There's always going to be a dip, but it's how he responds. Go back and check Katic last season. It's exactly what Steven Gerrard said about the man. But if I'm honest with you, there is one bit of business that stands above all, even the players that we just brought in, and that's the fact that we managed to keep both Tav and Morelos at the football club. No matter how many times we heard, oh, you need to sell him, you'll sell him deadline day, you'll sell him this to fund the moves you've already made, you can't afford this, you can't afford that, you'll sell Tav, you'll save Morelos. We never. We kept our 2 best players at the football club and strengthened around them even more so than we did last season, and I absolutely love that. And that's my biggest takeaway point away from this summer, is we didn't need to cash in on our best assets. We keep them at the club now and we build around them. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is the end of this summer edition on. Hopefully you've got involved in the comments. If you haven't done so already, you know what to do by now. Before we wrap up though, massive thank you to the absolute legends on the Patreons account. I cannot thank you guys enough for all your support, and as always, I've been Sieging Over 92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.